Big changes are coming to this garage. We've ordered a Tesla. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you've probably heard me comment in the past, especially when I sold my Jeep Gladiator and bought a Volkswagen Jetta, that I was not ready to spend the price difference on a Tesla. So you're probably asking yourself, what the heck changed? What's changed is they've lowered the price on some of their vehicles as much as 20%, and there's also a $7,500 tax credit if you buy a new one. So this has lowered the price of Tesla's electric vehicles and electric vehicles in general down to basically parity with their gas-powered rivals. So as a family, we're ready to try it out. The range offered by today's electric vehicles is more than enough for our day-to-day lives, and we can easily live with it. But we need to do a few things to prepare for the arrival of our electric car. And just as a side note, we went with the Model Y, which is going to replace our Chrysler Pacifica. This has actually been a pretty reliable vehicle. I've done a lot of videos on it to help others with maintenance. There's been no catastrophic failures, nothing that's left us stranded, but there is the maintenance that has to do with a combustion powered vehicle. And quite frankly, I'm just getting a little bit tired of it. I've done how-to videos on this, and I will continue to do how-to videos on other gas-powered vehicles, the Jetta, oil changes, all that stuff. But I thought this was a very interesting topic too to take my channel. How do we prepare and live with an electric vehicle? Somebody who's only had combustion vehicles. I haven't even driven an electric vehicle, so this is gonna be a big leap. You're gonna get the true story from a gearhead, what it's like to transition over to electric vehicles and live with them. Now, when I talk about preparing for electric vehicle, you gotta be ready to charge the vehicle, basically the day you get it. Now, you can use your standard 110 volt outlet to charge it, but it'll take a couple days to fully recharge it. So when I say our lifestyle will allow to live with it, the range of an electric vehicle, that's assuming we can charge here at home basically every night or every day. That's essential to making this thing work for our family. So what we need to do decent charging is to put in an EV charger. I've chosen to go with the mobile connector first from Tesla, which uses a pretty standard NEMA 15-50 outlet. That's basically a 240 volt outlet that allows up to 50 amps. So that'll charge us pretty quick. They also do offer the Tesla home charger, which will charge it more quickly. The reason I didn't go with that is, number one, the mobile charger is more flexible. If we go on a trip somewhere, spend overnight, you can take that with you, and then you'll be able to plug into any outlet that's available. The other thing is, our local utility has a program where you can get off-peak electrical rate if you charge between midnight and 8 a.m. So basically the electricity is about half the price at that time if you charge. But our normal electricity service in this part of the country with this utility is a flat rate. So we don't get any tiered pricing normally. To enable this tiered pricing or off-peak pricing, we need to buy or lease a charger from the utility that has Wi-Fi capability. Then it talks and makes sure basically that you're charging at that time. So if I bought the Tesla home charger, it's not compatible with that. So you do have to lease it, as I say. So it's either $610 to purchase that charger outright or $20 a month. So I want to do a couple months with the mobile charger and live with the vehicle before I opt into that and say, would it really save me $20 a month? Depending on how much we drive is really the big factor in how much we charge here at home. So I want to just kind of get an idea of it, and I can share that information with you. Say, does it make sense to opt into that? Or if it doesn't, maybe we'll upgrade to the Tesla home charger in the future, and then just keep the mobile charger in the vehicle in case you go somewhere and you need to charge. So I referenced this 240 volt, 220 volt outlet. I don't have one in the garage, so to prepare for that, I need to get that in the garage. It is not practical to live with an electric vehicle and a standard 110 volt outlet. So that's what we're gonna do. The big thing to prep for it, we need to get this outlet in to have the ability to charge the car. I need to go to Minneapolis to pick it up, which is about a 4-hour drive for me. The range should allow me to get all the way home. Maybe I'll stop at a supercharger and so I don't come home absolutely empty. But I'm gonna need to charge it right away after doing that road trip, so it's available for our weekly chores, taking the kids to school, things like that. So the first thing is we gotta put it in the garage, right? That's the most sense. It makes the most sense. The charge port is on the rear driver's side of the Model Y. Normally we pull into the garage, so that would mean ideally we'd locate it on that wall by this one garage stall, but the thing that's not very flexible, if we get an additional electric vehicle in the future, kind of want the charger more centrally located. Also, it'd be nice to have it available if I ever upgrade welders in the future to a 220 volt welder. That plug will be available to do that. So here is a good spot, or at the front of the garage in the middle is a good spot, basically behind my golf simulator on this wall. And there's a few considerations where your panel's at, how you're gonna run basically the new power to that outlet. We gotta put it in, right? So we gotta go in the basement and figure that out. The other thing is we can always back in, and this would actually be very conveniently located to be on the driver's side. But let's go take a look at our panel. There's a few things we need to look at there to make sure we're even capable of putting in this kind of outlet. And then basically we'll look at the wire routing to get power to the outlet and see what makes the most sense. Here we're at our panel, and the first thing you want to check is what your main breaker is rated for. We've got 200 amp service here. So that's kind of the minimum that you'd want to put in this 50 amp outlet is 200. So we're good there. And then we need to make sure we've got at least 2 open breaker positions. You'll need a dual pole breaker just like these. This one goes to the oven, and then we've got air conditioner and the dryer. So it'll be like this, but it'll be a 50 amp. So we need 2 slots. We've got plenty here, obviously. The next thing is we need to take a look at where our wire routing is going to go. The shorter the run in general, the better. But you can make pretty much anything work. It's just you have to put more wire in. We can see our wires are coming up here and then go into our basement and then around the house. The wall behind the golf simulator is here. And so this is actually a very short run, would be relatively convenient. Probably have to back in with this location. The other one is over here, and the practical wire routing for that is again to go up this wall into the attic of the garage, run it in the attic, and then come down over there, which is doable. The wire run is gonna be probably 5 times as much. So what I think we're gonna do is start here, live with this for a bit. Can always put in additional outlet if we're sick of backing in. So gonna start here, live with the mobile charger and the outlet, and that'll give us time to kind of live with that. If we want to upgrade in the future, we could put another outlet here, or just put the Tesla home charger over here, and it'll just be another wire run. Here are the components selected for the work. A metal box. Then we've got our NEMA outlet. And then we need this cover plate, which the outlet screws to here, and then this cover plate then screws to our box to hold everything together. We've got our 6 gauge wire. If you're doing 50 amp, 6 gauge is where it's at. Of course, we've got a 50 amp breaker for our box. Then I've got some cable connectors to put in our metal box, and then our breaker box also. There are many good how-to videos on how to install this outlet, so I'm not gonna go completely step by step. There's actual electricians on YouTube to walk you through it. Just showing you what you have to do to prep for your electric car. So I'm gonna get this thing in. It's probably gonna take me a few hours. And what I'm going to do I can run in the open ceiling of the basement from the panel over to here, and I'm gonna take this drywall panel off to easily access the backside of this wall, route the wire up and to our outlet. So I think this is gonna work out okay. I would do similar to this if I had to run it up in the attic. I may have to take off more drywall. It's a significantly bigger undertaking. I could probably go in the attic, drill my hole down through my top plate, feed some sort of line down, connect to my wire, and then pull it up with just the bottom panel removed. But this is gonna be a lot easier just working on this wall and the outlet. So let's do that. So I have my drywall off, just peeled up the plastic here, took a piece of insulation. It was nice, it just had a small piece here I could take out. And we can see some existing wiring here for the outlets and lights in the garage. So I'm gonna do a similar path. You can see where those wires are coming through below. And then my panel is right over here. So it'll be a very nice run. I just have to put in additional penetration and then seal it up for outlet, our wire for this outlet. I've got this massive boring bit to do this. This thing, these are relatively new. I mean, they've probably been out years, but they're much better, much smoother than a spade bit. Love this thing. And it's long enough to get through multiple layers of wood here. So let's get a penetration in there and we can get our wire started. This thing is freaking amazing. Cut right through that, no problem. All right, this is looking pretty good. Moment of truth. Let's see what voltage we have on here. 253 volts. Success. Okay, so time's kind of gotten away from me. Got the Tesla mobile charger, got the outlet in, but I haven't had a chance to test this yet. And we're actually picking up the car tomorrow. I'm gonna do a separate video on the whole Tesla buying process and to let you know how that went. But right now we need to prepare for our car and make sure I've got a way to charge this thing because driving it home is gonna basically pretty much deplete the battery. Let's get this thing out and see what's in here. As with all things so far Tesla, this is my absolute first experience going in blind. I've watched quite a few review videos on the car itself, but nothing about getting into the details of the chargers and that. So this is actually kind of what I've expected. This thing comes with a very nice package. It seems like most things they do are not cheap. They're getting more affordable, but they're not designed and built cheaply, if that makes sense. So it comes with a nice case. Normally you put this in your trunk or frunk, I guess as they call it. Comes with a couple adapters. So the first one is for a regular 110 outlet. So anywhere you go, you can top up, even though it's going to charge very slowly, but at least, you know, if you're outside in winter, it can get the cabin up to temperature before you go. And you're not going to lose any range. You can use the outlet power for that. And then the main one that we're going to use is our 240 volt NEMA 14-50, whatever it is. This thing with the three straight prongs and the round one. And I want to test this thing out. We'll see if it powers up, but I put my outlet in upside down. I want it to be this way, because the rest of this unit is basically the charger and then the cable to go to the car. And they do make an organizing kit. I was going to see how this laid on the wall before I bought it. But basically, you just slide this deal in here. And I want it to hang down like this. Unfortunately, right now I've got it like this. Let's see if this thing powers up. Hey, look at that. Okay, so I know I'm ready to charge the car when it gets home. But I gotta fix this. I was looking at pictures and I thought I knew the ground had to be up, but when I came to actually putting it in, it's like, well, that's stupid. Every 110 outlet, the ground is down just like this, but with these, I guess it's the other way around. If you found any value in this video and you want to follow along with my family's transition to an electric vehicle, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. Adios.